welcome you to ESPN College Football presented by Cars.com here at Memorial Stadium in Norman. A matchup that impacts the Big 12 championship and playoff race. Top 15 teams, Oklahoma and Kansas State, square off. The Sooners are 5-1. Their loss a couple of weeks ago at TCU. The Wildcats are 4-1, but their lone defeat was out of conference at home against Auburn. Baylor atop the conference standings. Oklahoma State 3-0 in conference play. And if OU loses today, the Sooners in trouble. And they lost to Kansas State on this field 2 years ago. Kansas State won the toss and will defer. So the Wildcats will kick it away to Alex Ross, who is the best kick returner in college football. He has 2 returns for touchdowns, including a 91-yard kick return for a score last week against Texas. See if K-State tries to keep it away from Ross. Looks like he's trying to hide behind Deron Neal and wait for the kick to see which direction it goes before he gives away exactly where he'll be. Ian Patterson will kick it deep. And it'll be a touchback. It will come out to the 25-yard line for the Sooners. Dave Pasch alongside Brian Greasy. Kansas State kind of the forgotten team in the Big 12 when you talk about contenders. And Oklahoma looking to regroup. Yes, they won last week, but they needed a special teams touchdown and a defensive touchdown to beat Texas by 5.
Well, and their coach has not been happy with their offense specifically. And I think this game is a turning point for Oklahoma. It's a turning point for Trevor Knight. They have got to win this game. Kansas State is not going to lose this game. We know that Bill Snyder and that team will be well coached. Oklahoma has to play a lot better on both sides of the ball if they're going to get this win.
Trevor Knight is 10-1 as a starter. And he will throw it out into the flat. And there's Shepard past the 30-yard line and bumped out near the first down marker. It's a gain of about 8 for Sterling Shepard, their top receiver. And Trevor Knight struggled the last 2 games against Texas, only 129 yards passing, and then versus TCU 2 picks, including 1 for a score in the loss. They run it here and get the first down. Let's bring in now the third member of our crew, our sideline analyst, Tom Luganbill.
Well, guys, it's been no secret that Oklahoma has struggled on offense, certainly on first down, getting behind the chains and having unmanageable third downs. So keep an eye on Trevor Knight. He's got the second lowest completion percentage of anybody in the Big 12. That's behind Kansas's quarterbacks. Look at where he's going to disperse the ball today throughout the afternoon. He has not been able to complete passes over 65% to any region of the field outside of the left underneath flat. Got to have more efficiency out of him, particularly on first down.
Here's Knight rolling out, gets a great block, but a flag down. Knight tackled short of the marker. Ryan Mueller got drilled. And now Knight is shaken up as well. And here comes Thomas, who played only 1 game, the Tulsa game. Was 3 of 4 in that contest. Now we got to clean up the flag.
Targeting by blindside block. Offense, number 48.
That's a big
the
loss.
The previous play is under further review.
That's their fullback, Aaron Ripkowski. They'll review this, but as of now, he is.
So Mueller is trying to
targeting
recover,
right there.
Trying to recover there, and his head was down, and Ripkowski kind of led with his head there. There goes Mueller. He's going to react, and he's going to stumble, and then Ripkowski puts his head down. I think that's what they were looking at. That head goes down, and you target right in that head or neck area.
Yep.
I think that's a good call. It's a very dangerous play.
You lead with the crown of the helmet, and you're going to get called for targeting. So he is ejected. Now they'll review this upstairs, but I think the ruling on the field will stand. Knight was on the ground and down, and that Randall Evans came in and hit him in the back. And Knight is going back to the Oklahoma locker room.
Well, it's a good sign that he's up running like that, moving that arm. Hopefully he can return to this football game.
So it's 2nd down and 20, and Cody Thomas and hand it off, and making guys miss is Alex Ross past the 35-yard line. First down in the Kansas State territory and all the way to the 37. That's a way to help the new quarterback on the first play get a huge gain of 41 yards.
This is a guy that has the speed. Once he gets to the second level, he just can make you miss. And that time Schellenberger, the safety, comes up. No chance of getting Alex Ross on the ground. Great cut, great vision.
You made the comment last night at our meeting. He reminds you of Darren McFadden, kind of how he's built, how he runs. Little trickery here as they pitch it to Shepard. He's got running room and wrapped up just short of the marker by Schellenberg. Fans didn't like the vicious tackle, but looked clean. And they get close to 9 yards there on first down.
It looked like they wanted a horse collar, but that was on the shoulder pad there. If you're Kansas State, you're not concerned about pass at all in this situation with Cody Thomas in the game. You're just sell out to stop the run.
They run Ross again, and he dives for the first down to the 26-yard line. Truman on the tackle. Thomas, the quarterback from Texas, 6'4", 211. And again, those numbers were in a blowout win against Tulsa. In Oklahoma, they haven't been home in over a month. It's the longest in the Stoops era where they've had this much time between home games. They played Tennessee on September 13th. They've been on the road or at a neutral site since. And now, just 7 minutes in, your starter gets hurt, and so Cody Thomas is in. Mueller gets cut blocked, and the pass by Thomas is caught to Shepard. Turns upfield and comes up a yard short of the first down.
No, guys, a really good job there by Cody Thomas in the red area, not taking risks with the football. Now, with time to develop, they're really excited about him as a passer. He's a great baseball player, not quite the athlete that you had maybe with a Sam Bradford or with a Trevor Knight, but this is where the run game can help you out. And keep an eye, guys, now on Dimitri Flowers, the true freshman at the fullback position. He could become a pivotal cog in this offense now.
I mentioned he's a good receiver out of the backfield. Second down and short. And here's P. Ryan picking a hole, getting the first down. And an impressive drive with a backup quarterback in, although it's been Ross and P. Ryan doing most of the damage on the ground. Here's P. Ryan again. They're running between the tackles and having success as P. Ryan is inside the 10. P. Ryan averaging 95 yards per game on the ground.
Take a look at Casatati come around. He gets his second level block there, 54. You get that much beef in the hole. You know, it's just an outstanding job up front, and with your quarterback out, you know, you got to start to rely more and more on P. Ryan, and there's no question this young man is going to be an outstanding football player, and he can handle the load. He proved that against West Virginia. Ran it over 30 times for 240 yards.
11th play of the drive. Can the Wildcats get a stop here? Force a field goal. It's second down and 2. High snap, and in trouble is Thomas, but somehow got the first down. First and goal from the 2 for OU.
Great job not panicking. You come in for your first meaningful series as an Oklahoma quarterback. You get a bad snap, and you just weave your way back in there and protect the football.
They give it to P. Ryan, who's in. Touchdown, Oklahoma. That's number 10 to lead the Big 12. Trevor Knight runs back to the Oklahoma bench with his helmet on, in time to see P. Ryan hit pay dirt.
And we asked the question at the beginning of this game: how is Oklahoma going to respond to getting beat by TCU, following that up with a poor performance at Texas, and now they come out and have some adversity early on. Guy ejected, quarterback hurt, they go right down the field.
Point after makes it 7-0 Sooners. But Cody Thomas, the freshman who had just played a handful of snaps this season, comes in for the injured Trevor Knight. And with the help of great play from Samaje Perine, leads them into the end zone. 7-0 Sooners. You know, one way to cure your third down ills, to not have any third downs. They had just one on that impressive drive led by Cody Thomas, but again, it was Ross and Perine doing most of the damage on the ground, with Perine getting the touchdown. But Thomas was 2 of 2 passing, and as you saw, Knight 4 of 4 through the air. He'll kick it deep, though. And Lockett will take a knee, so it'll come out to the 25 for Kansas State.
And a couple things we're going to look for in this game. Obviously, we've talked about the kick return game. Lockett, Shepard, two of the best in all of college football. Quarterback runs. We saw there a dedication from Trevor Knight. I think you're going to see that more from him in this game. And Jake Waters, we know his bread and butter is running the football. How well does he produce? And then third downs. Oklahoma was awful a week ago. It's been well documented. 1 for 11 in the game against Texas. Conversely, Kansas State is excellent in third down. And a big reason why is because Jake Waters' success throwing and running the football.
Jake Waters, the Wildcat QB. Play action. Waters with time and knocked away, incomplete on a pass intended for Lockett. Waters doesn't really turn it over. 2 of the 3 interceptions this year were in the Auburn game. Against Oklahoma last year, he threw for 348 yards. He did have a big pick 6, though, that was a turning point in that game. He had almost 400 yards of offense.
Well, and most importantly with Jake Waters is in his second year in this system, he is now the unquestioned leader on offense for Kansas State.
There's going to be a running play to Charles Jones. Finds a lane at the 35. Gets the first down out to the 38-yard line. So a 13-yard pickup for Charles Jones.
Little change up from Kansas State. Look at the wide splits here. That is to try to get the defense expanded so you have these lanes in the middle. Great job. Gronkowski gets a block. Kleinsword gets a block. Little bit of a change up wrinkle that Kansas State uses effectively in this offense.
But Charles Jones was hurt on this play. Went to the sideline. That could be a big loss. He's their Wildcat quarterback when they get down on the goal line. Has 8 touchdowns this year. A fresh set of downs here for K-State. And Waters thinking about running, now throws, and wide open is Gronkowski. Inside the 15, Gronk to the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas State. The youngest in the Gronkowski famous family, and he gets his first touchdown of the year. 62-yard catch and run.
You have a quarterback like Jake Waters that's such a physical presence and runs the ball so well. You've got to be alert for play action, and this is just the play that Tim Tebow has made famous, where and Cam Newton did it as well, is you start to run that power as a quarterback, and Gronkowski comes out of the backfield, slips through the line of scrimmage, and there's nobody left.
So Matthew McCrane on to tie it. And it's 7-7. Jake Waters with his 8th touchdown pass of the year.
And Gronkowski is a weapon, not just running the football and blocking, but now you see him just slip out of there. There's nobody left. Very difficult for the defense to find him, and he shows he's got the moves in the second level to get the ball in the end zone. We're all tied up.
Ian Patterson. Here's Deron Neal, and he is brought down at the 21-yard line by Jonathan Truman.
Let's go back and take a look at the touchdown. You can see Dominique Alexander's right here. This is Ahmad Thomas. They have got to respect the run game from Waters. Here's Gronkowski. He's just going to weave his way through and watch it. If you're Dominique Alexander, number one, you got to respect that run, and it's just great play design, great patience by Jake Waters to find Gronkowski downfield, and he does the rest. Very difficult when you marry that QB power run game and the play action.
And back on the field, the quarterback for Oklahoma is Trevor Knight after missing that last series. And he'll throw on first down. And it's Pirine out of the backfield. Hard to get him down. And Morgan Burns tried to drag him to the ground. Close to the 30-yard line near the first down marker.
And it's hard to overstate how impressive Samaje Perine has been, obviously running the football. If you get him involved in the passing game, it'll be really hard to stop.
Here's Perine, and he stood up this time. It was Will Geary, a freshman, at the point of attack. And they're not the biggest up front for Kansas State, but they fight. And Oklahoma got nothing there.
Well, and they came into this game ranked 4th in the country, stopping as you see, this defense stopping the rush. Now, they haven't played the stiffest of competition. They played Auburn, but Auburn's run game is very different than this power downhill attack that you're seeing from Oklahoma and Pirine. So they have got to make that adjustment in the trenches.
3rd down and a yard. It'll be Pirine again, and he's brought down short of the marker again. Tackled by Ryan Mueller. You know, you wonder with Trevor Knight getting injured if they're going to be more careful now with him, even on quarterback sneaks.
I don't think they gave it to him there.
No, he was short, Pirine, but
penetration there by Kansas State. Pirine did a nice job in the backfield and then tried to power through, but that's Truman, the linebacker. That's a big stop.
Wow. Another short punt, and it checks up. Kansas State's going to have the ball near midfield.
Well, if you knew the punter was going to do that, you might go for it.
I don't know if I go that far, but here's DeMarcus Robinson off the left edge, and he's able to get about 6 yards. Jordan Evans, who's their leading tackler for Oklahoma, he could not get Robinson to the ground. Robinson 5'7", 200 pounds. We saw Charles Jones leave the game on the last series due to injury, so Robinson might get more work today.
Yeah, it might be Robinson's show the whole day, and he kind of reminds me, you know, we did Mississippi State earlier in the year with Josh Robinson and DeMarcus Robinson, same kind of build and same kind of power and relentless, trying to go down.
There's a 7-yard run. 2nd down and 3. Minute and a half remaining in the opening quarter, tied at 7. Another run play. Robinson met in the hole and wrapped up at the 1st down marker by Dominique Alexander, but it looks like he got the 1st down. So Kansas State in OU territory with a fresh set of downs. There's Jones, who was shaken up earlier in the quarter. Robinson had a career-high 17 carries in their last game against Texas Tech. And now you have no running back, and so when you see this formation often with Waters and the fullback, it's the quarterback run.
I love how you picked that up now. You know, you're studying film now. you see tendencies. So there's a fullback in the backfield. You say quarterback run. I hope you're right.
I can't help but hanging around you and Luganville for 2 months. There's a pass. Lockett makes the grab and a gain of about 4 or 5. I'll just stick to play-by-play.
Add that to your breakdown sheet. There was a pass.
They had to go against Tennessee, you know, because they knew that Oklahoma saw it coming.
Coaches get paid too. You know, they break tendencies all the time.
Final minute here of the 1st quarter, and they're at the Oklahoma 40-yard line with a 2nd and 7.
Man-to-man. Striker to the edge. You're going to check that now. He looks to the sideline. They love option. They love throwing the football against man.
Here comes pressure. Waters in trouble and sacked. Back at the 48-yard line. Dominique Alexander was back there along with Charles Tapper.
Yeah, you got to know you're going to free release 5 guys that you don't have anybody left if you're Jake Waters, and they bring Dominique Alexander right up the middle.
Entertaining first frame here in Norman. An impressive drive by Oklahoma, which included a 41-yard by Alex Ross, but Kansas State comes right back to tie it at 7. Dave Pasch, Brian Greasy, Tom Luganville in Norman. Start of the 2nd quarter. Tied at 7 in a game with Big 12 title and playoff implications, especially if Kansas State wins, given that its only loss was against Auburn. 3rd down and 14 here. The Wildcats won at OU 2 years ago.
It's like man-to-man coverage again. Lockett at the bottom of the screen.
And here's Sexton. And he's inside the 40 to about the 39. So
they might decide to go for it here. You know, they're inside that 40-yard line.
They've had issues with their kicker.
Their kicker has not been consistent. Obviously, Jack Cantelli has been replaced by Matthew McCrane. But if it was 4th and 3, 4th and 2, I think Bill Snyder might think about going for it. But 4th and 6, good idea to punt.
Yeah, there's McCrane. who's long, by the way, on the year, is 27 yards. He's only kicked twice after Jack Cantelli was benched following missing 3 against Auburn, including a 22-yarder. And that's into the wind, and there's a K-State player down there at the 1-yard line. Beautifully done by Nick Walsh. And Elijah Lee was there for K-State. Here's first down and 11, all right. And there's a pick six, intercepted by McDaniel for a touchdown. Wow. Trevor Knight threw it right to him as McDaniel jumped the route and scores.
Now that's something Bob Stoops would be upset about. But why do you throw a quick out route from the opposite hash? This is the last thing you want to do as a quarterback, is throw a quick out route. And McDaniel's in perfect position. He had a corner over the top, safety over the top, so he didn't have to worry. That's just too easy. That's poor play calling and poor execution from Trevor Knight. If you see that, don't take a chance. Throw it in the stands.
You've been pounding Kansas State between the tackles with Alex Ross and P. Ryan. Why, when you're backed up to your 1-yard line, do you go away from that and make risky calls? Extra point by McCrane just sneaks through, and it's 14-7 as K-State gets a defensive touchdown. Trevor Knight with his 6th interception of the season, his 2nd pick 6 in the last 3 games. That was a bad one. (14-7) Kansas State. Danzel McDaniel intercepts Trevor Knight, returns it for a score. But that all started with the great pooch punt by Nick Walsh. Downing it inside the 1 was Elijah Lee.
We talk about mistakes, right? Kansas State, one of the best teams in college football in the Bill Snyder era, of not making those boneheaded mistakes and losing a game.
And a pooch kickoff here, trying to keep it away from Ross. That's a live ball, and still loose at the 31-yard line. Oklahoma jumped on it, but man, there were plenty of opportunities there for Kansas State. It was Dimitri Flowers who recovered it for the Sooners.
Heads up play by Flowers. That was kind of took him by surprise. Take a look at this touchdown. This is a 4-deep defense, and as a quarterback, you have to understand, in 4-deep, you can't just throw an out route without checking first. Now it's a poor route by Deron Neal. There's no question about it. He starts to break out. That makes it very easy for McDaniel. But as a quarterback, you got to know that you can't just throw it. Take a look at McNeil. Look at his eyes here. His eyes are in the backfield the whole time. Bates, the quarterback, and that's an easy touchdown for McDaniel.
First interception return for a score for him. We talked a lot this week in our meetings about him stopping the run and being fearless and coming in run support. Did a good job in coverage there.
And he wants to set the tone on defense. He certainly did it.
See if they go back to the run game after the pick 6. No, it's a pass, and wide open in the middle of the field is Bell into Kansas State territory to the 47-yard line. A 22-yard pass play.
Just like we saw Gronkowski for Kansas State, it's going to be Bell off of play action. Truman, the linebacker, 21, has got to respect that run game, and they need Blake Bell to continue to make more plays.
They go up tempo here. Another pass play and a deep toss. Shepard wide open. He'll score. Touchdown, Oklahoma. What a bounce back by the Sooners. Knight finds Shepard, 47 yards.
Find out something about your team. You find out something about your offensive coordinator, Josh Heupel. He and Trevor Knight make a mistake on the interception for a touchdown, and they come back in 2 plays. 2 great calls. Play action over the middle, and then play action deep to Shepard. And Oklahoma's going to tie it up.
14 apiece as Sterling Shepard gets his 5th touchdown catch of the year. He's in the top 5 in receiving yardage per game.
It's Morgan Burns on the outside. No reason to be jumping that route. And for Trevor Knight, couldn't be a better response to that interception.
Sterling Shepard over 2,000 career receiving yards, 7th all-time at Oklahoma, wears the jersey of his late father, Derek, who played at Oklahoma and then later in life at age 35 died of a heart attack, and Sterling was basically adopted by the Oklahoma program as that kickoff sails into the stands. Will come out to the 25. And Sterling grew up around the Oklahoma program and then signed to play for the Sooners, and he's had a terrific career. Junior from Oklahoma City. His mom Sherry is here today. Low snap. Waters on first down, facing pressure, and gets rid of it, complete to Lockett. And nice tackle that time by Wilson. Dominic Alexander had pressure that time. And there's Sherry Shepard, Sterling's mom. And Sterling has been, you think about his offense, 47% of Oklahoma's receiving yards come from Sterling Shepard. That is the most of any player in the Power 5 conferences.
And that's,
he's that important.
He's that great, but that's not a recipe for success. You need some other guys to contribute. Huge splits here from Kansas State. Now they come back down in.
Charles Jones back in the game. He'll get the call here, trying to get outside. He does. And at the 35, he's taken down by Stryker right at the first down marker. They'll give it to him.
Again, we see checks at the line of scrimmage for Kansas State. They were in wide splits, then they come back inside zone read. Look at Waters try to get a piece. The thing about Kansas State is, you know, that every player, all 11 guys, are going to give their bodies for the team, and Jake Waters is no exception.
Oh, you got their right tackle Matt Kleinsorge with a cast on his left hand that we got to try to block Stryker and Devontae Bond. Stryker looked like he was offside, flag down, and Waters maybe with a free play, going for Lockett, up high. Oh, he held on. First down inside the 30-yard line.
Great awareness from Jake Waters to know he had a free play, and then to identify it and find Lockett, your best player, and give him a chance and look at him elevate and go up. There is no, what we talked about, giving your body for the team. He's got to expect to get a big hit from Ahmad Thomas there, but goes up and makes the play.
We talked about Shepard. Lockett is to Kansas State, what Shepard is to Oklahoma. 38 yards on that catch. First down inside the 30. In a tie game early in the second quarter. Going to be a run play here, and not much room. Gain of about 2 yards. Big Jordan Phillips with a tackle on Charles Jones. Phillips at 6'6", 334. He's healthy this year after missing last season due to a back problem.
Well, that's an important position, obviously, in that 3-4 scheme of defense. He's got to take the double team. He has to force that double team to keep those guards off of the linebackers, and at 334, he's more than up to the task.
Waters with time, and it's a first down catch by Lockett. He's inside the 10 and pushed out. Lockett got away from Julian Wilson, and they pick up 3rd and long.
Watching Jake Waters from the pocket, his growth and accuracy and arm strength has been tremendous from a year ago. That ball's thrown before Lockett comes out of his break. See that? Ball's there. It gives him some space between he and Julian Wilson so they can make a move and get extra yardage. And Oklahoma has to respect Tyler Lockett, so that's why Julian Wilson's playing off.
4 catches for Lockett already, and a 1st and goal for Kansas State. When they won here 2 years ago, it was Colin Klein leading the way at QB. Now it's Jake Waters. He'll hand it off to Jones, and not much off right tackle. Jordan Evans in there again. No gain on the play. Dominic Alexander as well. 2nd down and goal.
You mentioned Colin Klein. I saw him down on the field before the game. He's now an assistant coach with the Wildcats, doing a little defensive quality control, and he's been very impressed with Jake Waters and the way that he's operated this offense in the 2nd year in this system, really hitting on all cylinders.
Inside 10 to play till halftime. All even. Kansas State looking to retake the lead. Sooners look like they might bring some pressure here, and the play clock is down to 2. Waters, fade, end zone, and it's incomplete. Lockett got tangled up with Zach Sanchez, who made the breakup. That's the 2nd time he's defended a pass today, so it's 3rd down and goal.
You can get away with some contact if you're looking back for the ball. Sanchez is always looking back for the ball. So both guys will hand check, and the officials, that's a great no call in that situation. Both guys fighting for the ball. They both have equal opportunity for that football.
So it's 3rd and goal for K-State. Waters to the air. To the end zone. And it's caught by Lockett for a touchdown. Lockett tore up Oklahoma last year with a school record 278 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. He's already got a touchdown catch here. That's the 2nd by Waters in the first half, and the Wildcats retake the lead.
How impressive is that, to have a touchdown called back, then convert on a 3rd and long situation, and then on another 3rd and long, 3rd and goal from the 11 to knife that ball in the middle of the field. That is very impressive from Kansas State offensively.
McCrane with the extra point. 21-14 Kansas State.
And for all those people that say Jake Waters can't throw the football, read defenses. This is as tight as it gets down here in the red zone. You jump the inside route, and Tyler Lockett's in perfect position on the back end line, and Jake Waters is rolling.
All right, Reese, about a month ago, Tyler Lockett was shaken up. He had a hamstring injury, wasn't himself, but he's healthy now after playing Texas Tech 2 weeks ago, then getting a bye. And over his last 3 quarters, Lockett has 17 catches, 195 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's in the last 5 quarters for Kansas State. So he's healthy, playing well, and he just gave Kansas State the lead. They pooch kick it away to keep Ross from getting his hands on it, but Ross was there. But Kansas State covered the kick well and got him down at the 30. Oklahoma with a first down. And getting out of there is Trevor Knight, and wrapped up for a loss. And a penalty flag comes in to Corey Johnson. Either got the face mask or the collar of the quarterback, Trevor Knight. Now, again, the least penalized team in college football. They don't normally do these kinds of things, but they had a touchdown called back on offense and then a face mask where you got him tackled for a loss. It was an easy play. And now you've given them a first down near the Oklahoma 40-yard line. Actually, out of the 45, excuse me. We saw Mike Stoops there, the D coordinator, doing the talking. We'll see if he adjusts. First down OU, and here's Ross into the pile to the 41-yard line.
Some great cat and mouse schematics going on between these 2 coaching staffs. And remember, Bob Stoops, Mike Stoops spent time with Bill Snyder on his staff, and these are 2 very sharp coaching staffs, and you're seeing some wrinkles that you haven't seen so far this season from both schools.
You mentioned Mark Stoops. How about the job he's done at Kentucky?
Big game tonight
At LSU. 2nd down and 7. And here is Pirine and Will Geary, who weighs almost the same as Pirine, got off a block and made the tackle at the 39-yard line. So a 2-yard pickup. 3rd down.
Geary's a guy that they were excited about getting, a redshirt freshman. You know, he's not the biggest guy. You know, that's Kansas State in a nutshell. A guy that works hard, that gives great effort. Not the biggest size, but he's a playmaker.
3rd down and 5. Can Trevor Knight make a play? Rolls to his left and keeps, and that was easy for Knight. He got the first down inside the 35-yard line.
Jordan Willis, the defensive end, just got confused here. He's number 75. There, he's got contained, and there's nobody left. But that's the element that Trevor Knight brings that they need more of.
And Knight is now 10 of 11, made just that one mistake. It was an interception for a touchdown. Here's Pirine between the tackles. And again, Kansas State is all over that. Randall Evans, who normally wears 15, as there's some pushing and shoving. No flag, though. Yeah, Deron Neal getting into it with McDaniel. Just to finish up on the Randall Evans story, he normally wears 15, but he's wearing 27 today, as Kansas State is honoring a former Wildcat, David Garrett, who wore that number when he played for the Wildcats just a few years ago. He was shot and killed last weekend at age 26. So you saw no number, or no name, but Evans wearing the number. 2nd down and 9. As that pass batted down by DeCorey Johnson, who's in the backfield again. So it's 3rd down and 9 for OU.
Had that trouble Trevor Knight has all year, getting balls batted down. He's only 6'1". This is hard when there's a defender right in between you and an open receiver on a short route, and DeCorey Johnson very alert. This defense for Kansas State and their staff teach them, if you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up, and that's why they bat a lot of balls.
Knight on 3rd down and long, throwing a fade to the end zone for Shepard. He caught it, but was he out of bounds? Yes, incomplete. Thrown to the back pylon, and Shepard is hurt.
Well, he went down hard, and there's a camera there. Hopefully he just lost his air. That ball, he landed right on top of the ball. Great effort, almost an unbelievable catch. But it looked like he came down square on the ball on his stomach.
And hopefully he's all right.
Good to see him up. I think he just got that wind knocked out. Watch, he comes down hard. First of all, almost, I mean, that is close.
He caught it.
And
but foot hit the pylon.
He just comes down square on that football.
Guys, Sterling Shepard just flat out landed on the lens of one of the camera operators down here, right on his right hip. I think partially stunned him. He's down on the floor screaming, "Get the cameraman out of here."
I mean, good to hear that he's all right. Now, Michael Cunningham trying to tie the Big 12 record for most field goals made in conference history, and he does. It's now Honeycutt and Mason Crosby, who did it at Colorado. 71 career made field goals, most in the Big 12. All right, let's check in with Tom down on the field.
Coach, a first half of a couple of big plays, one a negative, one for Trevor Knight. What did you say your quarterback to spark the scoring drive on the following series?
It's a long day. You know, we got 3 more quarters to go. Pick your head up and keep playing ball, and we got to overcome it.
Kansas State on offense has come out with a little bit of a different look up front with the wide split between your centers and your guards. What's your adjustment to that for the second half?
Yeah, that hasn't been an issue as much as just some of the play action pass and sneaking the fullback down the middle. The splits haven't bothered us.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Oklahoma 5-1. Kansas State 4-1 and 2-0 in conference play. A game that certainly will impact the Big 12 championship. Lexus halftime report coming now with Reese, Lou, and Mark. Kansas State trying to win in Norman for the 2nd straight year. Sterling Shepard hoping that he can be a factor in the second half and turning things around. He had 8 catches, 95 yards, a touchdown in the first half. Almost had a second touchdown. He caught a pass, foot hit the pylon, so he was not in, but he landed on a camera lens and injured his hip. But looks like he's good to go for the second half. Dave Pash from Brian Greasy, and a lot of big plays in that first half.
Great first half, and both quarterbacks played well, over 150 yards passing. I thought they were efficient. Outside of the 1 interception for Trevor Knight, felt like they both played well. They had some play action passes. Jake Waters got the ball downfield. He was accurate, throwing a touchdown to Gronkowski. This was the one mistake in the game, and it's a 7-point difference, and I think Kansas State's up because of that. But give credit to Trevor Knight. He came right back. Big throws downfield the next drive, and it's been back and forth. Big plays downfield by the 2 big wide receivers, Lockett and Shepard. What a great throw this was from Jake Waters to Lockett for the touchdown. And this was the play you mentioned that he got hurt. Came down hard on the camera. It's an expensive camera, just broke right there. A good thing that he's back, because Oklahoma will need him in the second half.
Kansas State will start on offense. And we'll start on its 25. Let's check in with Tom Luganville.
Well, guys, I was talking with Mike Stoops, the defensive coordinator at Oklahoma, and talked to him about the splits that I asked head coach Bob Stoops about and how that's affecting their game plan. And really what he said, it's all a numbers game. They're widening the box with those splits, yet we still got to maintain numbers so that we can defend the run, which puts us on an island against Tyler Lockett out on the perimeter, which is not a good matchup for us right now, particularly number 2, Wilson. So he's very concerned about the numbers game, and they've got a bit of an edge on the Kansas State sideline with it right now.
Yeah, Lockett has a touchdown catch in his last 2 games against Oklahoma, Lukes. He's got 17 receptions, 348 yards, and 4 touchdowns. That's in 6 quarters against the Sooners.
And you see it here right off the bat. He's locked up in man-to-man coverage on Zach Sanchez. Now, Sanchez has had a lot more success against Lockett than Wilson had.
Here's that quarterback run with Gronkowski in there, and it's a big play, and Waters makes the defender miss. Waters inside the 40. They finally get him down inside the 25.
You called it in the first half. No running back in the backfield with Gronkowski, the fullback, means quarterback draw. Too bad you weren't playing defense for Oklahoma. Great job up front and a missed tackle by Ahmad Thomas. That's the element we didn't see in the first half. We didn't see a whole lot of running from Jake Waters. He takes a good hit there on the end of that run, but he didn't have any runs like that in the first half, and to start the second half is a good sign.
53-yard run by Waters. And he's brought down inside the 20. A gain of 3 as they go right back to the quarterback run game. Waters has thrown 2 touchdowns, 155 yards through the air. Now he's got 40 yards on the ground. Trying to fight through this one.
Well, I think he came down hard on that shoulder, Dave. The way that he is wincing right now, he came down hard at the end of that long run. Watch his right shoulder and his elbow go down hard. Typically when that happens, it's an AC joint. That happened to me a number of times. And you can sprain that joint. I think they're going to have to keep an eye on Jake Waters.
Waters looking the other way. And he's got to complete to Sexton, who's pushed out near the 10. Only the 4th catch of the day for Curry Sexton. Does it impact when you throw with that AC joint?
Absolutely, absolutely. But I think they're now starting to match up Zach Sanchez on Tyler Lockett. But you can see here he's getting outside the pocket, and Jake Waters has really grown in that part of his game, mobility and dealing the football while on the move.
3rd down and 8. And remember, they have all kinds of issues with their field goal kickers. They'd love to get a touchdown and go up double digits. Waters in trouble, throws it into the end zone, almost caught. Deontay Burton had a chance to pull it in for a touchdown. I don't think when he turned around, he didn't realize the ball was right there. Waters doesn't look right. Jordan Evans got pressure, but watch the reception, or the near catch by Burton. Did look like he knew the ball was there.
Well, he had to throw the ball early, Dave. So Jake Waters, you saw, didn't have time to wait for him to complete his route, so he had to get rid of that football to preserve a field goal attempt of his new kicker. It's a great job by Jake Waters. Looks like he's going to go in the locker room.
So both starting quarterbacks have been banged up, and now here's McCrane from 28 yards, and he puts it through. So that makes it a 7-point game, as McCrane is now 3 of 3 since replacing Jack Cantelli. Will Jake Waters return, though, for Kansas State, which leads by 7? That's a big stop by Oklahoma, holding Kansas State to a field goal attempt as they got pressure on Jake Waters, who we saw running back to the K-State locker room. There's his backup quarterback, Joe Huebner. We'll see who's under center for Kansas State when the Wildcats are back on offense. 7-point lead on the road. K-State won here 2 years ago. Jack Cantelli to kick off. He's going to angle it. And we saw him pooch kick it a couple times in the first half. Here's Alex Ross past the 35-yard line. Another good return for the nation's leader in kick return average, Alex Ross. And Tom, we get the sense that Knight is healthy after getting injured in the first quarter and returning. See if they try to run Pirine. They're going to fake it to him here and throw complete. And it's going to be a first down to the fullback, Dimitri Flowers, into Kansas State territory.
Yeah, I'm with you, Dave. I think you need to get the football to Pirine, and I think Kansas State is thinking that as well. They go play action on first down, and good play.
Another play fake, and going downfield is Knight for Shepard. He pulled it in. What a grab by Shepard inside the 20.
I mean, why wouldn't you just continue to throw the ball up to number 3? He's such a competitive player. Talking with Bob Stoops, he felt like that was his biggest asset, was his competitiveness.
Now Pirine out on the flat, runs over the defender, DeCorey Johnson, and he's inside the 15-yard line.
Yikes. Take a look, Pirine. 250.
Check that it was Morgan Burns who got tattooed by Pirine, who in the run game has only got 19 yards on 9 carries. They have thrown it to him a couple times. 2nd down and 4. Perine between the tackles and doesn't get much. But able to stretch forward and get close to the first down. Here's Waters back on the K-State sideline. Third down here for the Sooners, trailing by 7.
Give it to the big man.
And Perine has the first down inside the 6-yard line. Knocked down by Barnett. First down and goal. Boy, twice now we've seen Oklahoma, after Kansas State scores, with explosive plays through the air.
Middle field, deep, right? I mean, taking that shot downfield to Sterling Shepard because Kansas State's thin at the safety position without Travis Green in the game.
Going to be Perine again. Stacked up at the 4. Jonathan Truman in there, along with Willis. Second and goal. Now, Oklahoma in the Bob Stoops era has only lost one time at home against a ranked Big 12 team. That was against Kansas State 2 years ago. Will it happen again? Sooners looking to tie it up on this possession. Knight gonna throw, and it's caught for a touchdown by Blake Bell. The former quarterback Blake Bell with his second touchdown of the season, and the Sooners an extra point away from tying the game.
A tight window. Bell wasn't open by much there, but he used that big frame, 6'6", and now he weighs 260 pounds after making the move to tight end, and an accurate throw from Trevor Knight.
After playing 31 games at quarterback, it's Blake Bell's 7th game as a tight end, and after Honeycutt hits the point after, we're all tied at 24. Shepard with a big play after the injury to get him in the red zone, and then Perine says, "Get out of my way." Game-tying touchdown catch by Bell. 9.5 remaining in the third quarter. Jake Waters, who was injured on the last Kansas State possession that resulted in a field goal, he's back out there. A beautiful day, temperature around 70 degrees here in Norman. Very important Big 12 matchup. You love the fact that they play everybody in this league. No conference championship game, but it's a round robin. 9 league games. And it will come out to the 25 for Kansas State. So here's the injury to Waters. It was on a run of more than 50 yards, and at the end slammed down on that right shoulder by Stephen Parker. They checked it out, and they thought he was okay to go back in the game. He threw 2 incompletions after that, and then raced into the locker room, presumably to get treatment, and now back on the field. See the numbers for Waters, both through the air and on the ground. Definitely a dual threat quarterback, senior out of Iowa, junior college transfer. Gonna run the ball here. They got a big hole for Robinson. He's past the 45 into Oklahoma territory, and out of bounds inside the OU 30. And will there be a flag too? No late hit. How about Gronkowski out there again?
Gronkowski up front. Look right in the middle of the screen. The center, B.J. Finney, gets a block on Jordan Phillips. That's a big man to get a block on, and lead by Gronkowski. Perfectly executed. That's a little bit of a changeup for this running attack for Kansas State, with a little bit of a counter action that caught Oklahoma by surprise.
"38-yard run by Robinson, aided by the blocking of Gronkowski, and B.J. Finney starting his 45th game at center. They'll keep it on the ground here with Robinson. Another big hole in the teeth of the OU defense, a gain of 9. You know, you mentioned Finney, and this is a big day for him. He lost his father to a heart attack, his father Jay, 10 years ago today. He says that he plays for his father, so you can imagine the emotions that he's experiencing in this game.
Yeah, on both sides. You know, we talked about Sterling Shepard, his father, B.J. Finney. I mean, it's just a great story, those two guys, and to play college football in honor of their loved ones who have passed, and on a tough day like today for B.J. Finn. He's representing his dad well.
Looking for a hole is Jones. He finds it for the first down. Pushed back and wrestled down by Alexander, but forward progress to the 25. So a 3-yard gain midway through the third quarter. Kansas State on the move.
That's a tough deal for Dominique Alexander. We mentioned it a little bit earlier in the game. He's playing with a big club cast on his hand, and to be able to wrap up some of these backs, and Jake Waters, you see it there. Without your fingers to be able to wrap up and grab jersey, it's very difficult to play defense, but such a good player. They want him on the field.
Kansas State with more rushing yards than Oklahoma in this game, and Waters going to throw it here, and it's caught inside the 10-yard line by Curry Sexton. They've run that play a couple times where it looks like Waters is going to run.
Well, it's impossible for Jordan Evans. You're going to see him. He's right here, number 26. He's got to play run, and as soon as he comes up, the ball just goes right over his head. I mean, you're in no man's land every single time they run that quarterback power read with the play action over the top. It's very effective.
And boy, has Sexton stepped up as a number 2 receiver. 5 catches today, had 9 and 2 touchdowns against Texas Tech, 11 catches against Auburn. And it's first down and goal for Kansas State. They got 2 tight ends right now in the ball game. And here's Waters behind Gronkowski, and it's a touchdown. The quarterback run. Jake Waters with his 7th rushing score. And the Wildcats are back on top.
So much for defense, right? In the Big 12, we saw it with TCU and Baylor. We didn't expect to see it in a game like this. Kansas State and Oklahoma with 2 defenses that are pretty good, but that was right down the field for Oklahoma and then right back for Kansas State on the ground, play action. Very impressive. And I think at the end of the day, these 2 quarterbacks really are feeling confident.
Yeah, both have played well. Had a mistake by Knight, but you could make the case that was on the coaches as much as it was on him for that pick 6 down on the goal line. That was a 5-play, 75-yard drive that took 2:35 off the clock. Waters with the rushing score, and K-State leads on the road. The quarterbacks in this game have stepped up. Jake Waters with a couple touchdown passes and a touchdown run, and also Trevor Knight for Oklahoma with a couple of touchdown passes and over 200 yards through the air.
And if you're Mike Stoops right there in that huddle, I'm not quite sure what you say. You know, that was a great changeup. Give Bill Snyder and his staff credit at halftime to start running more counter. Not all read, but counter. Really gashed Oklahoma defensively on that last drive.
Kicking into the wind. Short kickoff taken by Ross. Breaks a tackle. Look out. Ross finally wrestled down to the 41-yard line. Weston Hybert holding on for dear life. And so we go to the 4th with Oklahoma trailing Kansas State by 7. Trevor Knight, after that pick 6, has been sharp with 2 touchdown passes. Jake Waters with a touchdown on the ground and 2 through the air. This game today between Oklahoma and Kansas State, not just Big 12 implications, but certainly it impacts the playoff picture. Over 400 yards of total offense for the Sooners today and a first down. Knight throws complete to midfield, and down goes Bell after a gain of about 4.
Really like the decision by offensive coordinator Josh Heupel to speed up the tempo a little bit. And you can see it in the swagger and the body language of Trevor Knight. When they go fast, he looks like he's in the most control. You can see it in his body language, barking out the signals. This team has a sense of urgency right now. This tempo is keeping Kansas State on their heels.
And they're on the K-State side of the field. P. Ryan is back in the game. He'll get the carry here straight ahead. And boy, is he hard to get down. He had 3 Kansas State guys wrap him up, and P. Ryan at 240 and moved everybody and got 10 yards on the play.
Well, if you're Josh Heupel, the hope is that as you get into the 4th quarter, this big offensive line and this big back, number 32, start to wear down on Kansas State defensively. But I know this, in talking with Bill Snyder during the week, they don't rotate a lot of guys on defense. they trust the preparation and the conditioning of their front seven to play 4 quarters and play it fast.
And Knight will hand it off to Pirine, and again finds no running room. Jonathan Truman, former walk-on, has led the team in tackles the last 2 years and has 11 stops today. Gets Pirine to the ground for a short pickup.
And also up front, Travis Britz, the defensive lineman, the junior, starting to get some penetration between the wall of this big offensive line.
Second down and long. Knight has to step away from pressure and takes off, and brought down inside the 40 at the 39-yard line. Again, Truman on the stop. So 3rd and manageable, 3rd and about 4 here at the 39-yard line.
And if you're Kansas State on defense, you got to find number 3. Where is Sterling Shepard? If you can double him, great. And then you got to keep containment on the quarterback, because Trevor Knight with his feet can easily get a first down.
And you saw Shepard. He's at the top of the screen, matched up with Morgan Burns. Burns had the interception on the last Oklahoma possession when Deron Neal on the end around threw it short of the intended receiver. 3rd down and 5. Knight with a quick throw to Neal, and he makes the catch for an OU first down at the 32.
That's a big development for Oklahoma. Deron Neal, somebody to compliment Sterling Shepard. Patience on the slant route. Good job holding on to that ball. McDaniel gets his hand in there.
They go quick here, up tempo, and a pass by Knight. Pulled in inside the 15 by Shepard. It'll be a 1st and goal as Shepard gets catch number 13. 178 receiving yards on the day.
Great throw from Trevor Knight right behind the safety. Such a fluid athlete.
Knight pulls it back and throws. Wide open is Neal. Touchdown, Oklahoma. Trevor Knight has really played well today. Just a yard shy of 300 yards passing, and his 3rd touchdown.
And those last 2 off of play action, you start getting that run game, and then you throw the slant behind the safeties. And if you have a quarterback that can see it and that's confident and that can throw that ball out in front of that wide receiver, you're going to have success, just like Oklahoma did.
Honeycutt to tie it rather at 31, and it's blocked. But it's picked up, and then the tackle is made.
I think that's big Travis Britz, the defensive lineman, right over the center with a big block.
And if that's Britz, remember he had 4 block kicks last year, which led the country. Here's the touchdown pass, though, by Knight, finding a wide open Deron Neal, his 1st touchdown catch of the year. But Oklahoma is down 1 after the missed point after.
Big touchdown by the Sooners, but they get a blocked extra point. There's Travis Britz right there over the center. Watch him get skinny. The Savage, the left guard, doesn't block down. And Travis Britz has made a career doing this. 4 blocks a year ago. And if you don't, I don't understand how you're not ready for that with Travis Britz, because that's all he does. And that time, Savage, Deontay Savage, the left guard, just a lapse, a small lapse like that, small error leads to big things, and that could come back to haunt the Sooners.
Very cliche to say that, you know, we thought the game would come down to special teams, except when it actually does come down to special teams.
Yeah.
And a missed 32-yard field goal by maybe the best kicker in the country, Michael Honeycutt, who is tied for the all-time lead in field goals in the Big 12, and then the blocked extra point. And it's Kansas State by 1, 10:35 remaining. We have not seen Tyler Lockett get a return yet. Nick Hodgson try to keep it away from him. He's got 4 returns for touchdowns on kickoffs. Will he get a shot here? Here comes Lockett. And he's hit at the 10. And doesn't make it to the 20. Great coverage by Oklahoma. It was Stephen Parker down there for the Sooners. Kansas State ball, leading by 1 at its 15-yard line. Waters will hand it off to Robinson. Able to power ahead for about 4 yards to the 19. Kansas State has run the ball pretty well today. 144 yards on the ground. Oklahoma's at 149. This is the worst starting field position for the Wildcats today. Kansas State has Texas in Manhattan next week. Oklahoma has Baylor in a couple of weeks here in Norman. Baylor was losing to West Virginia at last check. Waters on second down, pumps, now throws to the other side of the field and just threw it away. Waters had pressure in his face. It was Dominique Alexander. They trying to get the double move down here on the side.
Trying to get the double move, and it was well defended by Oklahoma. Now this crowd is in the game. And on a big 3rd down and 6 here, I expect full pressure from defensive coordinator Mike Stoops, because the last drive it had success.
1 point lead for the Wildcats here in Norman. Waters to throw. Sidearms it, and a one-handed catch by Sexton, but no, incomplete. He almost had it. They rule it incomplete. It's 4th down, and that's the first 3-and-out today for Kansas State.
Curry Sexton had one of the most unbelievable catches you'll ever see last game against Texas Tech. Almost brings that one down, but that ball did touch the ground.
And as long as you possess it, it can hit the ground, but you see there it was moving around. So it's incomplete. Good call, and it's 4th down. So first 3-and-out for Kansas State. And now we'll see what Oklahoma does. They haven't been able to run it as well between the tackles as we've normally seen. Trevor Knight has thrown it 30 times. He's completed 24. Nick Walsh was punted very well today. Gets off another good one. And a fair catch made inside the 30 by Sterling Shepard. Well, the Sooners have had a lot of miscues in this game. That's one of the reasons they trail. How about this call to begin with? Dangerous to call that pick 6 for Danzel McDaniel. They try a trick play to Ron Neal. They're in the red zone here, and Neal throws an interception to Morgan Burns. There was also a missed short field goal by Michael Honeycutt, and then a blocked point after with Travis Britz knocking it down. But Oklahoma with a chance to take the lead now. 9:32 remaining. Ball on the Sooner 30-yard line. They'll throw it to Shepard out in the flat. He's got room. Banged out a play by McDaniel at the 37-yard line. And Shepard now with 14 receptions on the day.
Think of how different this Oklahoma offense looks today as opposed to just a week ago in the Red River rivalry against Texas when they really struggled. See the potential of this offense.
Knight will throw again, and a sliding catch made by Shepard. Reception number 15. He's right near the 200-yard mark on the day.
And if you're Kansas State, you've got to stop committing to safeties in the run game. You trust your front 7 to stop this run game for Oklahoma. You cannot continue to give up these easy pitches and catches to Shepard on the outside.
How about just double Shepard? First down near midfield for Oklahoma. They're going to run P. Ryan here. Bounces off of a tackle. And finally goes down at the 45-yard line. A gain of 6 to Corey Johnson, the first man there. So Sterling Shepard has tied a school record with his 15th catch. He has 49 catches on the season and is in the top 5 nationally in receiving yards per game. That average will go up with the 197 yards today. He was at 119 per game coming in. On 2nd and 4, P. Ryan has the first down and more. Stiff arms and an ankle tackle at the 28-yard line by Schellenberg. 17-yard gain.
Sorry, Dave, and this is what happens. You get a safety deep so that you don't give up those passes, and now you get a crease up front in the front 7, and Schellenberg has to just get a shoestring to get P. Ryan on the ground. And when Oklahoma is at the beginning of the year, this is kind of offense we thought they would have, that they could run the ball, throw the ball at will, and they're just now trying to find their stride.
Kansas State with 9 guys around the line of scrimmage. First down, Oklahoma inside the 30-yard line. And here's P. Ryan again. And he was cut down, but he's kept those feet moving. Tackled at the 23. The coaches say he's one of the most mature true freshmen they've ever had here at Oklahoma, despite the height and the success that he's had. They got him lined out wide here out of an empty set. They throw it backwards to Neal, and he's fighting for the first down, but will come up just short, it appears. And the ball is at the 19-yard line of the Wildcats. They have to get about a half yard for the first down, Oklahoma. Third and short. It'll be a quarterback sneak and a first down as Knight pushes the pile to the 17-yard line. Will Geary was the first man to greet Knight, but a fresh set of downs for Oklahoma, trailing by 1. Oklahoma 5-1, 2-1 in league play. Kansas State 4-1, 2-0 in conference play. Baylor has just scored to get within a point of West Virginia late in the 3rd. First down for Oklahoma. P. Ryan gets the call and again drags a defender for an extra 2 yards down to the 13. So a gain of 4. 2nd and 6 coming.
I think what we just talked about a little bit earlier, that the power of P. Ryan and this big offensive line starting to wear down on Kansas State in the front 7. That time Jonathan Truman, the captain, senior, the linebacker position, just got run over.
See if they go back to that. 2nd and 6. P. Ryan again inside the 10, dives to the 5. First and goal for Oklahoma. Dante Barnett tried to make the tackle on that play. Clock running, nearing 6 minutes to go. First and goal. P. Ryan maybe shaken up on that play. Gives the thumbs up. Holding that left wrist. He'll stay in the game. Oklahoma trying to take the lead. It's P. Ryan again to the 2-yard line. Dylan Schellenberg grabbed him at the ankles and brought him down at the 2. 2nd down and goal coming.
Well, yeah, Kansas State's going to substitute here. I think it's a good idea. They don't normally do it. They need some more beef up front. They bring in 2 more defensive tackles, expecting more. Samaje P. Ryan.
44 yards for him on this drive, 7 yards a pop. They only need 2 here for touchdown. And to take the lead back as we near 5 minutes to go. They'll feed P. Ryan again, trying to power to the goal line. He'll come up short. 3rd down and goal. They had a 3rd down and 1 just a moment ago from the 19-yard line. And they ran a quarterback sneak with Knight.
And as bad as it's been for Kansas State in this drive, giving up this yards on the ground, you have one more chance here. You got to think if they stop them here that Bob Stoops will attempt a field goal. So I sell out for P. Ryan here.
3rd down and goal from the 1-yard line. It's P. Ryan, and he won't get in. He loses yardage. Dante Barnett was there along with Jordan Willis for Kansas State. And so it's 4th down, and Oklahoma will try a field goal. If made, will give the Sooners a lead.
They brought Barnett off the edge, Dave. Great call from Tom Hayes, the defensive coordinator, as P. Ryan's slow to get up. But here he is right here at the top. He's just going to knife off the edge. And they get push up front, and Barnett gets his legs in the backfield, and that what comes up with the stop. Great job by Geary, number 60, the nose guard. And I think this is the right call for Bob Stoops in Oklahoma to go for the field goal and take a 2-point lead.
Michael Honeycutt trying to become the all-time leader in the Big 12 in made field goals in a career. And he missed it wide to the left. I can't believe he hooked it. Wow. Considered by many to be the best kicker in all of college football. And he hooked that thing dead left from 19 yards away.
Wow. Missed a field goal just like this. He hooked the earlier field goal, and that's a confidence thing. Michael Honeycutt, normally solid, and he is flustered.
That was bad. Wow. There was no pressure, but maybe after the block PAT and the miss in the first half, he was thinking too much. Wow, Kansas State keeps a 1-point lead. And remember, Oklahoma has just one timeout. And Reese, you wonder, will Honeycutt even get another opportunity, because Oklahoma has just one timeout. The Sooners need a stop. A couple first downs by Kansas State. And the Wildcats will be able to run out the clock. First down on their 20. There'll be a quarterback run, and Waters brought down after a minimal gain. They'll let the clock run here.
You know, let's go back and take a look at Honeycutt again. Take a look at his left foot, his plant foot, how close it is to the football. When it comes down right there, you can see he's so close that there's no room for the right foot to come in. He almost hits it off his ankle. I think he's lost a little bit of his form, and it's really affecting the way that ball is coming off of his foot.
This is the blocked extra point by Britz. The reason why it's 31-30. Honeycutt had only missed one field goal coming in, and that one was blocked. He's missed two today. The blocked extra point plus 2 interceptions by Oklahoma. 1 return for a touchdown. Waters trying to get the corner. Is he fast enough? No. Brought down by Jordan Evans at the 27. And Waters shaken up again. But he says, I got to tough it out and finish this ball game.
2 more minutes. He could tough it out for 2.5 more minutes.
Oklahoma not going to use its timeout. It will if it can stop Kansas State on 3rd down.
Again, right down on that right shoulder. Big 3rd down here. I don't expect them to throw the football. It's going to be run all the way with Gronkowski as a lead blocker in the backfield.
Kansas State's out of timeouts now. 3rd down and 3. Getting the check from the K-State sideline. Waters will throw, and it is caught for a first down by Sexton. Well, you said it. He called it, and they converted it. And K-State in command.
This is what's different about this Kansas State team. They trust their quarterback when the game's on the line. With the playmakers they have, Curry, Sexton, you see it, man-to-man coverage, you just find the guy that's off. And you either throw him a hitch or throw him an out route. And you have to trust your team that you can make that play. And Bill Snyder did.
Oklahoma can only stop it one more time. They'll give it to Jones. He gets about 3. Oklahoma will use its final timeout here.
Well, a final timeout and a lot of frustration on this Oklahoma sideline, guys, both between Bob Stoops and Mike Stoops. If you watched those plays unfold leading up to that last throw, this was a defense that was just hanging on by a thread. Really, Kansas State's had them guessing, had them on their heels. I agree, Grease. I think they were loading up, figuring there's no way they're going to run it. They're going to throw it on us. They do. They give them some cushion, and Jake Waters delivers, and that's where you saw the reaction from Bob Stoops. A little bit of the wind out of the sail here on the coaching staff, maybe more so than the players for Oklahoma.
So 2nd and 7, Oklahoma out of timeouts. Sooners hoping to get the ball back with a little bit of time on the clock, but that'll do it there as Jones gets the first down. It was Gronkowski out there blocking, and Kansas State, with Oklahoma unable to stop the clock now, just take a knee a few times and the ball game will be over. They will get back-to-back wins at Oklahoma for the first time since the mid-90s. They'll improve to 3-0 in conference play, 5-1 overall.
Everybody's been talking about TCU, Baylor, and Oklahoma in the Big 12. And at the top of our show, we said nobody has been talking about Kansas State. The last we saw them was that loss against Auburn, where you argue they could have won that football game. This is a team that is going to make waves in the Big 12. And game against Texas next week, and then they get They have to go on the road to TCU, West Virginia, and Baylor to end the season. So we're going to find a lot more about Kansas State. But this is a team that needs to be in the top 10 of college football.
And as Kansas State wins by 1, and boy, how does the center B.J. Finney feel right now on the 10-year anniversary of his father passing away from a heart attack, to win this game on the road for his dad and for his team?
Yeah, there he is, the 3-time captain, and you got to feel great for him.
All right, Bill Snyder standing by with Tom.
Good luck to you, Cato. Yeah, best wishes. Take them all.
Coach, the toughness and the grit that Jake Waters showed today, what did he mean to your offense in this outcome?
Well, virtually everything. You know, when you think about it, he made the plays that kept the ball alive and kept us moving and kept a little bit of time on the clock. You know, we didn't win the possession time, which we normally do, and that put our defense in, you know, some major jeopardy, and we were struggling on defense. That simple.
Most games are lost, they're not won. You've built a program upon that. Make fewer errors than the opponent, and you're likely to win the football game. Did your team play to that level today, in your opinion?
We didn't play as well as we could. I thought we avoided, you know, critical errors. You know, we didn't turn the ball over. That's significant. Being in this type of environment, you know, not to get penalized is really significant. So there was a significant amount of discipline involved in it.
Coach, good luck to you the rest of the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Take care.
A lot of football left here in 2014, but certainly looking at the body of work, Kansas State, Wildcats are in the mix. Their only loss at home against Auburn. They beat Oklahoma today 31-30. College football scoreboard presented by Honda coming up. For Brian and Tom, I'm Dave. So long from Norman.